Champions Cup quarter-final, Leinster and Glasgow, 52 points to nil. Harlequins will be feeling a little bit better about themselves after seeing this result, saying, see, it's not just us that get hammered by Leinster, it's the URC champions as well. Goodness me, I thought this game would be closer than that. Glasgow have got attacking threats across the park, and yet still managed to get nilled. Leinster were absolutely relentless at the breakdown on the carry. Bloody hell. They are looking a very, very hungry side. Geordie Barrett was pretty outstanding. O'Brien was phenomenal. Prendergast was pulling the strings. I mean, even Caelan Doris comes off the bench and wins a bunch of turnovers. So many standout performers. Obviously, Glasgow, didn't have Xander Fagerson, which is not ideal because he's one of their star guys up front. Matt Fagerson went off with a leg injury in the second half, which looked pretty nasty, but goodness me, they didn't have Tuipulotu and Jones, which they were kind of hoping to have back, but still, 52-0. That's pretty emphatic. It's 2 weeks in a row Leinster have put on a whole bunch of points and conceded none. We'll go through the key events and the stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on that one. Leinster were looking to go fast early. They wanted to keep the game moving. Not let Glasgow get a chance to settle into the game. I thought Jamie Dobie, to be fair, was pretty lucky to stay on the field when he had a one-handed intercept chance. I'm not saying that he couldn't have caught it, because you've seen loads of players go for a one-handed intercept, manage to get it, go length of the field and score a try. But you've also seen loads of guys go for a one-handed intercept and just get yellow carded for a deliberate knock-on. So the ref is ruling that he had a fair chance to catch the thing. So he stays on the field. I'm in favour of him staying on the field. I've just seen those kind of things yellow carded loads of times before. I'm literally collecting pictures of the things as kind of a hobby. One day we'll do a video on, is this a yellow card or is this an intercept try? Because I swear there's not much difference other than the fact that whether you catch it or not. But anyway, in the scheme of this game, doesn't really matter. Just one of my personal things. So, Jamie Dobie dropped an intercept chance. Glasgow went offside in 8 minutes. Leinster, touch, maul, looked like Barrett had scored a try, but they ruled that there was a knock-on from Ringrose in the build-up to that one, which was a good catch by the TMO, because sure enough, there was a wee knock-on there, but Glasgow just couldn't escape their half. It was rough viewing from their point of view. They were just trapped, and you felt like points are coming, and they did. Deegan, who's in a cracking run of form of his own, he led the side down to South Africa when they went down in the old URC games. He's the guy who finishes it off. You got O'Brien in the build-up, Geordie Barrett as well. 7 points to nil. Leinster looking pretty good value for their lead. Glasgow did actually manage to get out of their own half following those points conceded. They had a few phases in Leinster's 22. They got a couple of the offloads going, but eventually they knocked it on. And Prendergast just hoofed them clear. Leinster, so Glasgow are right back down their own end. And then from the resulting line-out, Leinster steal that, so Glasgow have to go back on defence. Hastings gets yellow carded for a deliberate knock-on. This one also results in a penalty try on 22 minutes from a Leinster cross kick. All from turnover ball, really, as well. And, that one Glasgow don't get away with. So just kind of desperation, sticking your hand out. There's probably a try coming. The try gets given with a penalty try, so now we're at 14 points to nil. And that's probably where the floodgates open. Once Glasgow go down to 14 men, and they're 14 points behind, Leinster just go bang, 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 and score several tries. Before the halftime whistle, they get a 5-metre scrum after Prendergast, again, line break. Guy was taking the ball to the line well. And a kick through meant Rowe had to kind of kick the thing back, carry it back over his own goal line. So 5-metre scrum for Leinster. And but they basically just get the ball wide to James Lowe. Gibson Park with the assist. 19-0. Another try during the yellow card. This time, again, Glasgow just can't escape their own half. Prendergast to Keenan to O'Brien. 26-0. And it's getting rough. 34 minutes. Lowe with a big carry, a big fend. Prendergast, dink through for Keenan. 33 points to nil at half-time. The game is over by half-time. Nobody's coming back from 33-0 against Leinster away. Possession's been 54-46. Territory's the killer, 62-38. There's been 301 run meters to 100. And 51 of those Glasgow meters are Kyle Rowe, because he had one line break down the left wing at one point during the first half. He's literally more than half the team's run meters. Clean breaks 3-2, offloads 8-2. Leinster are just chucking around, as I said, hungry, confident, and 33-0 up. The second half doesn't get much better for Glasgow. I mean, they didn't concede 33 points in the second half, so I guess in that regard it does get better, but again, turnover ball, Leinster punish. Ringrose has got some real power. He's another guy who was hungry. 40 points to nil. He goes over for a try. Leinster did go on a yellow card warning after conceding a couple of back-to-back penalties, but will Glasgow score? No. Leinster will hold them out and force the knock on. Sheehan gets one from the bench, scores a real kind of wingers try. It's a line out, close range attack. It looks like they're going to maul. They pop it to Sheehan, who's able to get a bit of a wingers finish over in the corner. 47 points to nil. And Glasgow, again, for a long period, stuck down their own end. Then we get the long stoppage for Matt Fagerson to go off. He gave the crowd a wave on his way. Hopefully he's not out for too long, but it didn't look great for Matt Fagerson. Load of phases eventually. This is Glasgow with the load of phases. Eventually, Leinster just win themselves a penalty at the breakdown. And it gets a great cheer from the crowd. The crowd, your team's 47-0 up. And they're still cheering every little moment. Even a penalty won at the breakdown to try and kind of keep the perfect score, in terms of, not conceding any points. It's crazy. Tom Jordan penalty conceded near the limbs of Geordie Barrett. That was not a great look because you've seen a lot of guys getting lower leg injuries. Geordie Barrett escapes without any harm, but the ref says that he's lucky, but that penalty conceded means Leinster go down again to Glasgow's end. Can they get 50? Yes, they can. O'Brien goes close on the right wing. Ross Byrne, who's come on, dinks it for Deegan. 52 points to nil. The conversion slides wide, but that is pretty emphatic. The territory and possession evened out a bit in the second half, but still Leinster have got 55% territory, largely based on the first half numbers. 8 tries to nil. Defenders beaten 26 apiece, but clean breaks 6-3. Turnovers 1, 10-4. Like, that Glasgow attack was just getting shut down. Run meters 543 to 281. And again, of that 281 for Glasgow, 112 is Kyle Rowe. So, geez, without that guy's run meters, it'd be looking even worse. Keenan, 64 metres. O'Brien, 62 metres for Leinster. Ringrose, 4 defenders beaten. Barrett won 3 turnovers. He got man of the match. He had 13 tackles as well. Doris came off the bench, won 3 turnovers. Matt Fagerson, before he went off, had made 14 tackles. But, yeah, pretty emphatic for Leinster. You guys let us know your thoughts on the match. It'll be interesting to see how Leinster go up against... Well, they've still got to go up against Castra or Northampton, depending on how that goes. I don't want to be guilty of what the commentary team are already looking forward to playing, basically, a French side in the final. It will be interesting to see how they go up against a side which is maybe a little bit more physically imposing, but yeah, they dominated Glasgow in this one. So yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the match. How far do you see Leinster going at this competition? Do you give Castra or Northampton a chance? It seems like a pretty tough prospect at the minute, but you guys let us know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Take care, folks. Talk to you again soon. See you later.